In the last stream, we updated all of the packages, created the new app router because the old one was built in Pages router, set up Tailwind with ShadCN, and we also finished building the initial UI or the layout for the manage screen. And yeah, I think that's basically what we done. It's 50% of the UI is already done, and all thanks to Tailwind and ShadCN because it's really fast to work with those technologies. But yeah, for today's stream, we are going to finish building the UI. We still have some actions to finish for the flashcards section, and then we can move on to the practice section. And if we have time, we are going to we're gonna start putting down the database. It's going to be SQLite. It's going to be part of the project, so we're not going to be using any, I don't know, third-party services like Terso. Although if we wanted to deploy it, I guess Terso would make sense. But yeah, that is a quick recap of what we've done and what we're going to be building today. And also, if you want to see this this project being built from zero to hero to full in a course format, do let me know. Okay, I'm already working on this. Watching live streams is fun, but then if you want to see the development of this project from zero to finish line in like an hour and a half, please let me know in the comments. Okay, so I guess we're ready. We can dive in. Here is the UI that we have. We have two sections at the top, manage and practice. There's not going to be any authentication, although we used to have authentication in the older version. If you want to see how we handled authentication, yeah, just go to the repo in the link, through the link that I sent below, and you'll see we basically use Next.auth with Prisma, and yeah, it's pretty easy to set up. So we were working on this one on this screen. We are able to, I mean, we have the UI for creating a new category, for editing an existing category, and also deleting an existing category, and also creating a new flashcards. I think we're missing the edit and delete for the flashcards, and then we can move on to the practice session, practice screen, which is at the moment, as you see, blank. And this screen is going to be simple. It's just going to be, it'll ask you to pick either category or all of them, and probably a shuffle or not, you know. So then when you hit enter or like hit the select button, you're going to get into a practice session where all of these flashcards will be like presented to you one by one, and you can answer the question and then hit a button to flip the flashcards and see if you were right. So that is the that's how we imagine the app would be. So let's continue. Here we are. Let's see. Let's work on the edit and delete, but for the flashcards side. So we're using 10 stack table to render the table, and we should go here in flashcards. As you can see, we have edit category dialog. We should have something similar, and also confirm category delete. We should have something similar for flashcards. So I'm going to copy the edit category and paste it here. And of course, I'm going to rename it to edits. Actually, instead of this component, I guess it would be better. Yeah, I guess it would be better to use the create flashcards, because I think it's a lot more similar to, yeah, we just need to populate, we just need to obtain the flashcards, and that will be it. Yeah, let's actually do that. I'm going to delete the edit category dialog. I'm going to duplicate the create flashcards dialog. This is the copy, and I'm going to rename it to edit. Cool. Export default. Edit flashcards. We have the categories, but we also want to accept the flashcard, the one that we're editing. Let's bring in the type. Nice. And in here, we only need to populate the dialog contents with the flashcard that we have. So we'll do edit flashcard dot question maybe. Yeah, it could be a long one, so we should be careful with this one. But let's just keep it like this for now. There's our form. There's the question. And as the default value, I want to set the flashcard.question, and also for the placeholder. Then we have the answer here. Again, we're just going to reuse flashcard.answer. And also the default value should be flashcard.answer. Hey, Ilya. Thanks. Hey, Chal, do you mind sharing the font name? I think this one is Dank Mono. Yeah, it is Dank Mono, but I basically recompiled it using Nerd Font. Hey, Kat, thanks for the subscribe. So Nerd Fonts is a cool library and also a font patcher that puts icons inside of fonts. And there are ready-made fonts that you can download, but you can also compile your own. So Dank Mono is a paid font, and it's not provided by the library itself. So I needed to patch it. And patching means just like give me the font, and I'm going to inject all of these icons. And nerd fonts are usually being used in, let me see, if I open Kitty here, if I do cd actually I don't need to do cd anything. You see these icons? These are basically part of the font, you know. If I enter, let's say, to CLS Next.js, for example, if I do this, you'll see a whole bunch of icons here. These are all nerd fonts, nerd font icons. Yeah. So that's the font that I'm using. Okay, so here's the answer. We are pre-populating the answer field into the text area here. The category should be the one that's selected. So the default one, because this is going to be the default one. Let me actually zoom in a little bit. This is going to be the default one. The default one should be the one that's selected by the flashcard. So let's try flashcards.category. Oh, we only have the ID. So in this case, let's do that. We'll do categories.find, exactly, yeah. Compiler is reading our mind. Yeah, so give me all of the categories and find me the one that matches the ID to the category ID from the flashcard. Yeah. Why is it so hard for a fresher to enter the front-end dev space? I think the overall industry is hard to get into right now. I'm not sure. I guess you would have to like work on projects, show a lot of code, show that you've done a lot of projects, and it would be better if you can, demonstrate full stack abilities instead of just front end, of course. Embrace the freshman way. Yeah. But yeah, I think projects win the space. If you can show interesting projects that you've built, I think it will, drastically increase the chances of, getting hired. But you're not alone. I think the whole industry is a bit weird right now, and there's like thousands of people struggling to find jobs. And I wish you luck with your, with your job hunting and stuff. All right, we're setting the initial category, the one that is from the flashcards. We set the question, we set the answer, or pre-populating the question and answer. There's the category. And instead of create, we want to do update. And the form is going to be update flashcards. So this is on a UI for now. We are going to be doing this. We're going to create an actions file. And we'll say action equals edit flashcard, like so. But we'll do that later. Right now, we just want to finish the UI. Thank you for the advice. Yeah, of course. And yeah, we're going to create server actions and we're going to pass them into the action field. And that'll make it easier for us. Because these are forms, when we hit submit, we'll just send the form data to the action and unpack the data from the action itself. Very nice. Okay, I think this looks okay. I think this looks correct. So now let's go to the flashcards columns right here and actually use the edits flashcard like this. There's the edit flashcard. In here, we're going to pull the drop-down menu item as a child because, as I mentioned in the previous episode, if we don't do that, there are issues with the keyboard navigation, and also when you click on it, there's like a weird thing happening. I can demonstrate that later. I want to show you this. We're basically adding the cursor pointer, so we have the little icon there, and on select we want to prevent the default because it's going to flash the dialog and like close it again. So we don't want to do that. That's why we add these two properties to the drop-down menu item. And the edit flashcards now, okay, this is going to be interesting. The edit flashcards require all the categories. And this is a client component. Interesting. So the flashcard column, this is just the flashcard. It comes with the category built in, but we also need all of the categories. And we need to figure out a way how to inject those categories here in this component now. Because the flashcard is going to be, it's not going to be the category. This is going to be called flashcards because the original row in the flashcards table is the flashcard. So here's the flashcard, but we also need, oh, it comes from the flashcard column. Let's actually update that. We're going to bring in flashcard column instead of the flashcard type. Save it as a type. And we actually have, if that's the case, then we actually have the category itself. Flashcard dot category. We don't need to loop through all of the categories, but we're still having the same issue with passing the categories data. So let's see. These are the flashcards columns definitions, right? And we are basically using them here. I mean, defining them here, and then we bring them back into the page. Just do this. We'll bring this back into the page, and we'll use them here, where we also have the categories. So one way to achieve, passing the categories is if we turn the flashcard columns from an array to a method or a function that returns the array, but takes in the categories through the arguments. And I think that would be the best option. So I'm going to convert this into a function that receives categories, an array of categories. And now we're going to do categories equals, we're returning this. Well, now we actually have the categories. We'll just do categories, and we should be good. What's wrong? Children is element, flashcards is flashcard column, and categories is the categories type. Children does not exist on type. What type? Oh, we don't have children. Yeah. Of course, we're missing that. We need to add this. This is the wrapping of the drop-down menu item, basically. Let's bring in React Node, and I want to bring that as a type. We're not going to be having the plus icon here. We're just going to render children here. And there we go. It actually fixes everything. Let's just double check. Yep, this looks correct. We have the flashcard here, the categories. We're using the categories through the arguments. So all we need to do now, instead of passing the columns here, we just need to invoke it. So what we're going to do, flashcards columns. Actually, there's a naming issue here. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to rename this into generate flashcards columns, okay? And then we'll have the flashcard columns variable here where we are going to use memo. I think the React compiler is going to fix this, but we haven't set up the React compiler just yet, so we'll just do this. We're going to memoize the flashcard columns, and it will make it depend on the categories. Yeah, wrap the initialization of categories in its own use memo hook, of course, because these are inside, but we'll fix that. We're going to fix that. I think if we just put them outside of the component, they should be okay. Okay, I think we need to set up an import cleaner. We'll do that later. Yeah, now we can see that it's not changing because it's constant, but we will change this because this is where we're going to be obtaining all of the categories from the database. So the use memo and also the dependency in the dependency array will stay. But we'll bring it back when time comes. Right now it's just okay. So here are the flashcard columns that also contain all of the categories. And that's why we don't see any complaints now, right? Let's actually see this in, what is that? It's not a function. Okay. Yeah, I see what's going on. So we're in a server component, right? All components in the Next.js 14 app router are server by default. And we're getting the generate flashcards columns from a client component, and that's not going to work. That is definitely not going to work. So we need to refactor these parts. the cells are basically what makes this component a client component because of the prevent default. Maybe not. What if we make this a server component? Yeah, it is the cell. So the cells need to be client components because there's JavaScript in them. So if we create new client components and put them back into the flashcards columns and make this file as the server, as a server component, it's not even a component. It's just a method that returns an array. So I think that would be a good idea. Get this cell out as its own variable, like as its own component, and this one as well. And to this one, we'll also pass the categories through the props. So let's do that. This cell is a cell context. So if I were to create a new component, and this is just going to be a string cell. We might even reuse this. So let's actually do that. Instead of get value, I'm just going to return a paragraph with the value from the props, you know. We'll set the value. We'll do the get value outside of the component, and we'll just pass the string itself. So here's the string cell. This wasn't even an issue, I think, because get value should not be. Yeah, this is not JavaScript that needs to get executed on the client. So yeah, we don't even need this component. We need a component for this one, for this thing, and this is going to be the flashcard actions, or the actions cell. So actions cell.tsx export default function flashcard actions cell. We'll see what we're going to accept from the props. We're going to return this whole block. Let's bring in all of the components. Oh yes, and it is going to be a client component. More horizontal. Here's what we're going to be bringing in through the props: flashcards and also the categories. Cool, let's do that. So the flashcard is going to be a flashcard column, and categories is just going to be an array of categories. Flashcard categories, and now it should be okay. There we go. So this is the client component. We're going to return flashcard action cell, and we're going to pass both the flashcard and the categories. And now we can remove use clients, remove all of the imports. Let me see, delete all unused imports. This is a server component. It imports, it exports this function that returns the categories definitions, which will happen on the server side now, not on the client side. Basically just yeah, it's an array with objects that contains some data and some JSX. We'll see if this is acceptable. Turns out it is not. Yeah, it is not. So functions cannot be passed directly to client components unless you explicitly expose it by marking it with use server. Or maybe you meant to call this function rather than return it. Where is that? Accessor key, function cell. Yeah, this is the columns issue. So this refactor didn't work. We need a different approach. Basically, this file has to be a client component. It has to be shipped to the client. But we are using the categories here. We need to find a way to pass the categories somehow. Okay. I'm gonna bring use client back. I'm actually going to undo a whole bunch of things. We don't need an extra component because we're not going to reuse this. So it doesn't make sense to have a separate component for that. We'll delete the actions cell. And let's just think for a moment. This needs to accept categories. Okay. How do we move the categories that we have on the server side to the client side, but pass it to the column definitions? Because the tables get rendered on the server side like this. We have a data table that is being shared. Well, I guess that would be the case. Yeah. Having a shared data table that accepts the columns from through the props, which are serializable, that is what's causing an issue here. If we move the table and make it specific to flashcards, so we're not, resharing the same table implementation, we should be good. Because in that way, when we render the data table, we'll just pass here are all the flashcards, and here are all of the categories, right? And you define your columns within your boundaries. But all of that is going to happen on the client side, while we are going to pass pure data through the through the props, through the RSC's payload. That's what we need to do. So I'm going to copy data table and I'm going to bring it here into the flashcards folder. I'm going to rename this flashcards data table because it is going to be specific to the flashcards use case. It's not going to be a generic data table. It's going to be a use client, going to be a client component. We don't need this generic type anymore. We can just simply data table props. Yeah, we can basically remove this. We're going to remove this because all of this is going to happen inside. We'll do categories and flashcards. That's all we need. And the type is going to look a bit different. Category is just going to be category, and flashcard is going to be from the column, which is going to get defined here. We have the flashcard columns. Yeah, we need to import this. We'll keep it as a separate file, but both of these are going to be executed on the client. There's also the category type. We got this. So the data in this table is going to be the flashcards, and the columns are going to be defined here. We'll say columns equals generate flashcard columns, and we'll pass categories like so. And this is going to be okay. What's the issue now? Accessor function is missing. Okay, we had a type error, like similar to this one. Yeah, unknown, yes. Okay. We'll remove that. If we go back to the page, and I can actually cut the data table and move it to categories now. Hey, how's it going? It's going to be the categories data table. If we go to the page, we need to import two data tables now. This one's going to be categories data table, and we need another one for the flashcards. Flashcards. This is data table. Oh yeah, we need to rename this. And this is going to be flashcards data table. What's wrong? Flashcards data table. Oh, because it's just a data table. Yeah. Now it should be okay. And these should be their own specific data tables. So we're not going to do columns. We're going to do flashcards here and columns categories. Here. And in this case, we just want to do categories. And I'm still going to refactor this just so we can have, you know, just so we can have consistencies between these two. We'll go to the categories data table. This is going to be categories. Damn it. Fucking type. Categories. Categories. Category. That's it. Now, oh, we need to bring in the type. Bring in the type. We don't need the interface. Honestly, this is so much cleaner. Okay, let's try that again. Categories. There we go. We'll have the same error, but we'll fix it later. We'll see how to apply it here. The columns, yeah. Columns are... We can just bring them in. Categories, columns. Yeah. Just bring them in. There we go. So we'll see about the error, but we refactored this page. We're rendering data tables on the client. We're just passing data. That's it. They define their own columns. They define their own stuff, whatever they want. And that's better. Let's just try to fix the... Yeah, we don't even need that. Let's just try to fix the type issue. I believe this is going to work. Let me see. No, it's not working. Why is it not working? Cannot read properties of undefined table. Table is undefined. Why is table? Because of this? Maybe? It seems so. This is a client one. This is a client one. It seems that that's the case. All right, so let's check this out. We had data coming as the data, and in the page, the data was just categories. But now we have some issues. I think it's a yeah, we don't even need these anymore. We don't need those types. We should just see why the 10 stack table is complaining. Now it's the columns. And here it's the categories. What? Let me restart the TypeScript server and see if that's the case. Flashcards are flashcard column. Category. Oh. Okay. This should be a... Column definition is category. But this complains... Maybe we need to add a type to the table itself. No way. It should be data, not categories. There we go. And this should be data. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Cool. Now we have everything, right? We should have everything. Except for this. I don't know why this is complaining. We need to fix this. But looking at the flashcards data table, it's looking pretty good. So columns in this case is a column definition that contains flashcards column. If we go back, this again, columns, same thing. TypeScript so helpful, exactly. But yeah, this was a rookie mistake. Now let's see. We have columns here, and columns does not exist. How do we pass this? Categories columns. That's how we call them now. Beautiful. Okay, let's just check on the flashcards data table now. There's no columns. Oh, there is columns. But how do we... Oh, because we use the generate. Okay, there's the... Yeah, there's the difference. Everything seems happy. And there it is. We fixed it. Let's see if everything works correctly. Edit. This is good. Edit what is JavaScript. That's JavaScript. What is Next.js? Edit what is Next.js. Let me zoom in a little bit. It's a React framework. Oh, it's set to the JavaScript category. Okay, interesting. We need to fix that. It is going to contain this. We're not populating this. Category must be undefined in this case. Right? We have categories and we have flashcards. Oh, we actually do have categories right here. So what is Next.js points to categories 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that seems correct. Here's the data table, flashcards and categories. In here, This is the edit flashcard. Let's see where this is being used. Here, where every row and that is the flashcard column, we remove the category ID and we append a category to it. But yeah, this flashcard is from the Prisma client, and these ones were from the columns. Cool. So we are not sure why this is happening. Let's just go and put a breakpoint. Okay, so source, don't need this. App manage, flashcards, and we want to get into the edit flashcards dialog. I'm going to put a breakpoint here, hit refresh, and open Next.js. So the flashcard that comes in has a category. And we want that to be the selected category. Next.js. And then we have a category select. Oh, maybe the category select. Okay. Got it. That component does not accept like a default value or something like it. It always picks the first one. So we need to refactor that. We have the selected category here. There's the category selects. Okay. Let's put this side by side and fix it. So we want default value, which is going to be a label and a value. Yeah. Let's match this type, and then we'll pass it. So there's the default value. Instead of categories of 0, you see that? We want to use the default value. Default value. Yeah, let's do this from the outside. Now it's going to complain. And now we're going to do default value is going to be the selected category. Actually, it's going to be an object where the label is the selected category name and the value is selected category slug. Exactly how it's label and value. What's wrong now? Label does not exist on type label. Of course it does. Wait, what? Oh, we kept it at, okay. Yes. Bam, bam. We don't need the 0 here. We're not going to be passing an array of categories. We're just going to pass one category. There we go. We should do the same because we basically edited a generic component. This category select. Actually, no. We should be good. There are 2 places where this is being used in the create flashcards. And this is where it's going to complain. The default value should be just the first category, right? Categories. Oh, we need to do the label thing. We do have a selected category here. And its category is 0. Okay, yeah, that sounds good. All right, let's try now. If I hit edit on the Next.js row, we should see the category being set to Next.js, not JavaScript. And we're correct. There it is. Tailwind, Tailwind. Node.js is Node.js. So everything is correct. Everything looks good. Next up is the delete, and that's going to be pretty easy to build because it's just an alert dialog. We're going to copy the confirm category delete, and we're just going to pass that to the flashcards. It's going to be a confirm flashcard delete. Let's keep it as a confirm delete. It's going to be a flashcard, not a category. Column, right? Because we're using this in the table itself. There's a flashcard. Are you sure you want to delete flashcard.question in this case? Permanently delete the flashcard. And we'll just do delete. And then we'll handle the actual deletion. But there's the confirm. We should just go back to the columns and do the same as the edit. Confirm, delete from this one, drop this inside and do flashcard equals flashcard. And also move these two in the props, but this one should also have, let's see, we should put the red color there. Categories columns. Yeah, you see that delete also has text red 500. Text red 500. Delete Next.js. Are you sure you want to delete the what is Next.js flashcard? This action cannot be undone. This will permanently delete the flashcard. Delete. That's it. Okay. Now we have basically finished the UI on this screen. I guess maybe we can go into the practice or work on the database. I think the database is more fun. Let me just check how much time we have. We have about an hour or so. Okay, let's move in to the database so we can actually, start creating some data and stuff. As I mentioned, this is going to be, first I want to save some progress. Finished manage UI. So that's what happened there. V2 is the branch that we're working on the repo. So as I mentioned, we're going to be using, hey, thanks for the sub, Playhouse. We're going to be using SQLite locally, and Prisma does support SQLite. Let's just see how it's being set up. Provider is set to SQLite and the URL is set to a file. So we just need to change this thing. Provider set to SQLite, and that's it. Relation mode is set to Prisma. I'm not sure what that meant. Relation mode. ML is the foreign key. Or was that? Foreign key constraints and referential actions for each Prisma client. Into multiple files. No, I haven't seen that, but that looks pretty cool. Luckily for us, we just have like 2 tables, but for larger projects, that would be really welcome. Okay, we're going to be using SQLite. Oh, these are referential actions. Yeah, I guess I'll just delete it. We had to set the relation mode to Prisma because we used the planet scale connection. We had a planet scale connection. So I guess I'm just going to, I guess we'll just remove the relation mode, see if, you know, any errors are popping up, but we'll keep it in mind in case we need to return it. Hey, John, watching you from the gym. Dude, that is nice. I should go to the gym. I should go to the gym more often. Okay. Yeah, this looks good. SQLite, we have an environment variable that we need to set to the database URL. So there's a central DSN and the database URL. So I'm just going to create .n database URL and set this to file. Was it like that? File, no, file colon db.SQLite dev.db. Okay, dev.db. Let's go with dev.db. So that's going to be put on the very root of the project. We'll have a dev.db file and everything's gonna be there. We also have a seeds. Hey, first time seeing your channel. It looks like I saw the channel that was looking for the Next.js journey. That's awesome. Yeah, I hope I answer any questions that you might have. Please, yeah, don't hesitate to ask any Next.js related stuff, TypeScript, whatever, you know. And thanks for tuning in. All right, so check this out. We have a seed file right here. Okay? And we have users, categories, and flashcards. We need to update the seed file because we're not handling users anymore, but we have categories and flashcards. And these are JSON objects that get created where we call main, yeah. And we just pass the data inside. That's what's happening. So we have JSON files, categories and flashcards, and those are dummy data, basically. So we're going to be using this. We're going to edit the JSON file because they contain references to users, because we used to have users previously. We're going to edit them in a moment, but running seed will pre-populate the database with that data for us. So when we create the file, we'll have some data to play with, and we can just use the data that we already had defined here, these blocks right here. But this time, instead of a category, we'll have a category ID, which points to that category. Okay, this is going to be the database, and we need to keep those as references, not as actual objects. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna copy all of these. Actually, let's start with the categories because they're simpler. We'll copy the categories. We'll delete the users JSON because we don't need it anymore. We'll enter here. See that user ID? We don't need it anymore. So I'm just going to paste these categories, and we need to, oh yeah, this is gonna be painful now. We need to convert this into a JSON. Let's see, TypeScript to JSON. It's a JSON schema. No, I guess we need to do a JSON stringify in that case. Yeah. Let's do that. I'll copy this. I'll open console JSON stringify. Damn it. And then we'll paste this whole, what is going on? Stringify, paste this, remove this, and there's our JSON. So we can just grab this like so and get back to the JSON file. So we don't really need to go through the, no, what is that? Okay. Copy explicitly and paste explicit. There we go. We'll do the same for with the flashcards now. But we need to update this. So instead of a category, we need to do category ID. And then just do one like so. Yeah, so let's do this faster. I'm gonna select all of these occurrences. If it lets me, select these, and let's append category ID. Do this, and then just increment all of them. The increment thing is really cool because I'm using Vim. I'm incrementing integers with control and X. So if I hover on a, like, go to an integer and do control X, I'm actually decrementing them. Control A is incrementing. You see how the number changes? That's how I'm basically doing that. Control X and control A, and that's why one of the reasons why you should invest into learning Vim, because it's really cool. Okay, we have the category ID properly set. What is Node.js is on category 6. Yeah. Now we can grab all of this, the whole object, and do the same. I'm going to copy this one and invoke stringify on it. Well, not like this. Stringify. Paste this without the comma, and then we'll have the JSON equivalent for the flashcards with the IDs properly set up. We'll go here, delete this. Okay, yeah, I need to copy this again because when you delete the what you delete gets into the clipboard. There we go. So flashcards and categories seed data is ready. I think we need more because, as you can see right now, we only have one flashcard per category. But if we want to, roll with the if we want to use the practice screen, we need multiple flashcards so we can, also implement the shuffle functionality. So I need another one, at least one more. Question. Let's do what are the types? No. What are, let's do closures. It's gonna be smart combination of a function bundled together with references to its surrounding state, the lexical environment. Okay, that's smart. We'll say category ID. Oh, hold on a second. This should not be that ID. We'll put this at the end. We'll make this a 7, and the category ID is gonna be 1. There we go. So let's see if we can continue. What is the event loop? What is the DOM? Virtual DOM. And these are where? Event loop is category 6. What was category 6? Node.js. Okay. What is DOM is category 1 in JavaScript. And virtual DOM is category 3, which is React. Interesting. Okay, so we did receive some flashcards. Let's do some more. Come on, Copilot. Copilot. What's JSX? Yeah. There we go. Give us some more. Okay, that's enough, I guess. So this is good for the seed data. We're gonna have errors in this page because of the category ID. We can let's undo everything just so we can avoid having the error. But I'm looking forward to triggering the redo. Command Shift Z. Okay. I'm looking forward to triggering the seed functionality because that will create the database itself at the root. And also, there we go. We have Prisma seed in the package.json file, which will just invoke node Prisma seed index.js, which is the file that we already saw here. So let's do that. npx Prisma seed. Unknown command. Set up Prisma, generate artifacts, migrate. What was the command? db seed. Prisma db seed, right? Okay. npx Prisma db seed, not just Prisma seed. Whoa, look at that. What's wrong now? Environment variable loaded from .env, which means it knows that we want to do dev.db. But it's complaining about the imports here. Cannot use import statements outside a module. Well, that makes sense. This means we need to convert all of these into require. But then we have these JSONs. And these JSONs they need to be JavaScript objects instead of JSONs now. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. All right. Categories.js. Export categories equals to this. Categories is this, and it's just gonna work. And we'll also do the flashcards not like that. Export const flashcards still working. And now let's do that. Const Prisma clients equals require not Prisma client. Const categories equals require dot categories, and also the same for the flashcards. Now let's try dbseed module exports. Lord, this is happening because we used to have TS node and we removed that package, so we don't have like, you know, a package dependency just for the seeding functionality because we didn't use TS node anywhere. So now I need to convert the whole thing, you know, into like from modules into this require statement. So it doesn't want to do export. It wants to do module.exports equals like this, and then categories is going to be an array, and we'll just close off the module exports. We want to do the same for the flashcards. Module.exports equals an object where the flashcards is defined as this array, and then we'll just close the module exports. And now let's see what's the problem. Okay, I bet there's gonna be one. Yeah. Error validating data source DB. The URL must start with the protocol MySQL. Why MySQL? Provider is set to MySQL. No. Didn't we change that? I bet we did. It's SQLite, not MySQL. Hold on. we did call generate at one point. mprex Prisma generate again. There we go. So this recreated the Prisma client. So when we import the Prisma client in this file, this is going to have the SQLite schema or type. It's not going to be the MySQL one. So if I run npx Prisma db seed now, we should see it go. No, does not exist in the current database. The main category does not exist in the current database. Interesting. It should create the database, but maybe there's like a difference. SQLite, here's the file. Okay, that's cool, but how do we initialize that? How do we create that database? Here's devdb now. So it's inside Prisma. It's not at the root of the project. We can see it here in the Prisma, but it's empty. It does not exist in the current database. Prisma SQLite table does not exist in the current database when seeding. Maybe we need to do a migrate. Yeah. First we gotta migrate, and then we need to do the Nice. I've solved this problem by changing the database to MySQL. Yeah, we're just gonna do the same. Okay, let's do that. npx Prisma db migrate. What's the command? Or yeah, migrate is not part of the DB, probably. Let's see how, do we have a package JSON script for that? Nope. Prisma migrate resets. npx Prisma. Let's just do migrate and see what commands there are. Migrate dev, migrate reset, and apply all migrations. We don't have any migrations though. Status, specify a schema, and then you can compare this and render the diff as an SQL script. Okay, let's do that. Let's do npx Prisma migrate reset. You wanna all data will be lost. We don't have any data. And then it does the seed, but there are no migrations. We need to create a migration from the schema. So let's go and see, create and apply migrations. Is a development command. It should never be used in a production environment. Reset as well. Yeah, basically we want to do create only. Yeah, we want to do this, migrate dev. And when this thing happens, what Prisma is going to do is it's going to open the schema. It's going to scan the database, and any of the differences in terms of tables and properties and types will be generated into SQL statements and put into a migration file. And that's when, that's what Prisma then uses to apply the migrations. So we need to do npx Prisma migrate dev. Let's do create only, as we saw here, create only, without even, without applying it. We just want to see it. Well, let's just YOLO dev. Enter the name for this new migration. We saw dev.db. It recognizes the database. This is going to be just initial schema. right? There we go. So now we have a migrations folder inside of the Prisma folder here. There's a log file that keeps track of something. And there's our SQL, auto-generated SQL from our schema. There's a flashcards table, there's a category table, and there's an index on the flashcards, which we can get by the category ID. That's good. That's smart because we want to say, okay, give me all of the flashcards that belong to this category on this category ID, and having an index on the foreign key is going to be fast. Cool. Now we have the migrations, and now if we peek at the DevDB, we're going to see some data. Let's see. There's probably an SQLite viewer. Exploring query SQLite. Okay, I have that installed. SQLite open database, DevDB. There's the SQLite Explorer, DevDB, category, and flashcards. That looks cool. That looks correct. If I click show table, oh, this is the master. If I click category, show table, we won't see any data because we don't have any data. But now we have the tables correctly set up. So now we can do db seed in order to bring that demo, like the dummy data that we had, and put it into the database. npx prisma db seed. Okay, what now? Cannot read properties of undefined. Where? Somewhere here. Okay, I bet it's this thing right here. I'm gonna console log categories and then put some, no, not this. Put some like dashes just so we can distinguish the log. Let's see how here's how this looks like, which is correct, right? We wanna have an array. It looks correct. But it fails on the fields ID. The types look correct. I mean, the data looks correct. But now we see a different type of error. Let's run that again. Yeah, that is the case. Unique constraint failed on the field's ID. Okay, so a category. There seems to be a category with the same ID. Oh, look at that. We already have these. Okay, we have the categories. Let's check the flashcards. No flashcards. So this create many fails because we already have some data, right? So we need to delete. We need to do a reset first. npx prisma db reset. We want to reset this. It wasn't reset. Nope, it was not a reset. Clear. Nope. Wipe. Oh. Reset. Reset the development database. Migrate reset. Yeah. npx prisma migrate reset. Okay, let's try that. Everything will be lost. Go for it. And what happens now? There's an error. Cannot read properties of undefined. Reading kind. What is that kind? Where does that happen? We're having some scheme problems. Let's actually see the migration. Category ID. On delete restrict on update cascade. And this is the category. And there's no kind. Where is that kind? Let me look for this. Prisma seed properties of undefined reading kind. Find many, of course. Yeah, that is it's a different bug. Oh, imported from here. Let's try then. And I believe it was a default export. But now this is a TypeScript file. Damn it. Okay, let's... Let's try. Let's see. Reset. Yep. Yeah, I cannot find module index because that is a TypeScript file. It's not being built yet. I guess we have to revert back to TS node because it'll make our life easier. I hate that I have to do that, but yeah. npm install save dev. It's like a... Yeah, there are, you know, the difference between we have TypeScript files and then we have like CommonJS JavaScript files. We have to keep things, you know, consistent. So we'll save TS node as a dev dependency. We'll turn this whole block into TypeScript files. And then when we go into package.json, scroll to the bottom, instead of node, we want to do TS node. So let's quickly do that then. This is a TypeScript file. Import Prisma client from this. Import categories as a named export from this file, and we'll convert that into a JavaScript file in a moment. Import flashcards from that. From is missing. And then continue with that. Cool. So this is a TypeScript file. This is a TypeScript file. Instead of module exports, we want to do export const categories, and instead of this, we want to do equals, save this, delete this. That's it. Let's go back to... Well, look at that. Yes, maybe it could have worked, you know? Maybe it could have worked. I had a typo there. Okay. Export default, not default, export const equals save. That's it. What happened here? Prisma CD Next.js. Okay, cool. So this is going to be the Prisma client that's already created, right? So we don't need Prisma like this. We just need it as Prisma. Nope, that's not how it's done. Well, in that case, let's go to the index one. Yeah, my bad. There we go. Hopefully this is gonna work now. npx prisma migrate reset was the... Not reset. You're gonna lose all the data. Yep. Again, cannot find module index.js. Where is that? Oh, of course. We didn't change the... We changed TS node, but we didn't change the JS to TS. Let's try that again. Cannot use import statement outside a module. What do you mean? What do you mean? Where is that? That's impossible. So even with TS node, it's still complaining. How's that possible? This used to be a JS file. But I don't think it matters. To load an ES module, do a type module. Well, that's gonna change. Okay, let's try that. Hmm. I just want to run a script. You know, that's all. I just want to run a script. Seriously, it's like, well, you don't want to track these now. Okay, let's try it out. No, same thing. It's not supported. So this import is not supported. Resolving ES modules imported from seed. How did we handle this? Because it's just JS now, we can just use Node, but maybe should we? Yeah, interesting. Prisma. See, let me see how they handle it. Because apparently I'm missing some stuff. There's the. Okay, so they're importing it from Prisma clients, just like we had previously. So I guess that was good then. That was correct. At Prisma client, Prisma equals new Prisma client. We do the seed in there. TypeScript TS node already there. TS node Prisma seed.ts. In this case, it's a TypeScript file, apparently. And so we need to track this in TS config as well. All of these. So let's go back to TS config. Track, well, they should be tracked with this. They should be tracked with this, but what's wrong now? Oh, of course, yeah. It's not a default export. It's a named export when we're importing from Prisma client. Okay, so we did that. Prisma CTS node, do that. Oh yeah, there's a compiler options to the TS node. When using Next.js, you wanna set up your seed script like this, and then we are using Next.js, so that was the case. TS node, and then paste the compiler options. Now let's see. Hopefully we'll see. Prisma db, no, Prisma migrate reset. Delete everything. Cannot find module index.js. Where is that? I converted it to a TypeScript file, and it's not a JavaScript file. There is no end to this, isn't there? Let's try that again. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. This seed command has been executed. Let's see the database now. Woo. Category. We have the 6 categories. That's good. Flashcards. There's our flashcards. Nice. So we set up DB seed so it's easier. Cool. I'm going to commit this. Setting up Prisma migrate plus seed. Push the whole thing, including the data. And now, exactly. Hey, Sarah. Yeah, we survived that one. Now we're ready to start pulling from the actual data. Now we're ready. Okay, let's go to the page now, the manage page. I'm gonna delete this whole thing. See, we're using something else here, flashcards column. We need to recreate that type. But I'm gonna scrape those two, delete this, and inside of the manage screen, we're going to pull the data. Okay? And this should be async function now. Let's do categories equals await Prisma from our file. And let's, you know what? Let's go to tsconfig and add an alias. And add an alias here. It's going to be Prisma slash. And instead of in source, we'll do Prisma because source and Prisma are next to each other. Yeah. Save this. Restart the TypeScript server. And now let's see. Import something from @/Prisma. Good. Of course, yeah. I forgot that we don't actually have anything. We'll just do this. We'll just do because it's an index.ts. Yeah. There are some helpers as well. So we need both then. Okay. Undo this. Paste the with the slash and without the slash. That was more annoying than the traffic I'm sitting in, right? All right. Restart TypeScript server, and now we should see nothing because it's a default one. So Prisma from Prisma, and this is the correct type. Yeah, it's our client. So categories Prisma category find many. Find many is going to return what? It's gonna return. Let's check the type. Oh, it's good. Okay, and then we'll do flashcards again. Find many because we wanna just drop all of the categories and flashcards here, but we need to do something here. In the find many, I think we need to populate. No, or select or reflect. What was it? What was that command? Basically, instead of returning the flashcards with the category ID, I wanted to also use the category ID because it's a foreign key and populate the category inside. I'm not sure if that was, available in Prisma. Let's see. Include. Oh yeah, include. Include. Choose which related nodes to fetch as well. Exactly. Yeah. Include category. What's wrong? You need one more. There's one more. Now let's check the type. It says a category at the top. Huh. Answer category. Oh, we do have the category. Cool. Yeah. Hey, thanks for the sub. We do have the category. See? No errors. This means now we're actually pulling data from the database. Do you think we'll see something? npm run dev. We should see more flashcards. We should see like 11 flashcards. We do see 11 flashcards. Nice. Nice. This is very nice. This is very nice. So when we, when we start creating and doing all these things, we should be pretty much good to go. We have 30 minutes remaining. We already have the utilities function, the utility functions that create everything inside of the database. We already refactored it to remove all of the user related stuff. Yeah, we nailed it. Now we can just create an actions file, which will export server actions, and we'll hook them up with all of these actions like create, update. We already have the read defined. Create, update, delete. That's all. So here's what we're going to do. First, I'm going to push this. Reading from DB. I'm going to push this. And we are going to, check this out. We're going to create a file here in the app/manage, and we'll call it actions.ts. Okay. The actions are going to be marked by use server at the top because all of these are going to be server actions. And now we can just do exports consts, not actions, but let's say create category, right? We'll say async because it's going to be an async function, but check this out. I'm going to open my other project, Buffet. I'm going to open my actions folder file. Look at all the migrations here. And this is Supabase. This is not Prisma. Let's see. Not components. Should be here. Actions. Check this out. So, yeah, export async function. I'm creating functions. And there's a form data through the arguments, received from the arguments. That's what we want to do. Okay? So we'll close this. Let's continue the same. Exports async function create category. We'll have the form data as the type form data, which is it's a native type. We don't need to bring it in. And now we can start using the utilities that we already have. Let's see where they are. They're not here. There are these utils. No, not there as well. Where were they? Helpers, sorry, helpers. Get flashcards. You see that? Create flashcard. It receives the data. It does the whole thing basically. So we just need to use these helpers, and that would be it. So these functions, they're gonna handle, extracting data from the form data. They're gonna handle checking and validating if the data is correct, and if everything is correct, they're gonna use the helpers, and then we'll just return and revalidate the current page that we're on. Or it's not the current page that we're on, it's the most, it's where the page, where that function or action is being used. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to import helpers from Prisma/helpers. So we can do helpers dot, nope, not how it works. Everything is helpers. Helpers dot, there we go. We have the whole API inside of the helpers method. Cool. Let's destruct the data. Do we have our project? There's Buffet. There we go. So form values. I'm creating an object called form values. I'm just doing form data dot get, and then to string. That's all. And then I'm doing the validation. I'm throwing errors, etc. And that's it. So we'll do the same. Form values equals, and then we'll do create category. Categories should have, let's go into the helpers. No, actually, just a name, right? There's our form, there's a name, and that's it. It only has a name. So if form values, and not as a string, but I'm doing toString, and it's gonna be an optional because it might not have it. Hey, Vilinov, pozdrav. Yeah, it's not gonna, might not have the value, so we'll just do a validation check here. If there is no name, then we want to throw an error. Name is required, right? Now we know form values dot name shouldn't be undefined, and it shouldn't be undefined because we have the if here. But yeah, now we can do category create helpers, and instead of doing the form values, create category receives the data. Category create input. So it's an object where the name is going to be form values dot name. There's a slug as well, and we need to generate this. And I think there was like a package that we already were using, slugify. Yeah, npm.im/slugify. Slugify some string and return some string. Cool. That's all. That's all. Let me just make this. The slug is going to be slugify. Let's bring slugify in. Form values dot name. That's all. Lazar, do you work on a Mac or Windows? I work on a Mac. I find the development support the best on Macs, at least for, you know, my case. And I also started with iOS development, so I'm used to work on Macs. And it was like, I don't know, 10 years ago. Yeah. The work gives us Macs as well. Yeah. I've been looking into Windows, not gonna lie. I don't know where Windows is currently with the, you know, development tooling, etc. But yeah, I don't know. Macs have good support for everything. Yeah. So here's the category, right? We have the name, we generate the slug right there and on the spot, and the helpers will create the category for us. So we can just we don't want to return the category. We will want to revalidate. This is Next.js now. Revalidate path /manage. Because what this is going to do is it's going to revalidate /manage, or basically like it's caching the results, but if we create one category here, we want to invalidate or like revalidate the cache and reload the data again so that we'll see the new category show up at the bottom here. Yeah. Oh, the Windows subsystem for Linux is a nice option. Yeah, I guess. I've seen people use that. All right, so we are revalidating path. You know, let's just like return a category in any case. Even though this is a server action, it's still going to be an HTTP call. But here's the action, right? Let's go back. Here's our form. Check this out now. Action equals create category, but we'll bring it in. Let me just hide myself. We'll bring it in from the actions file like this. Okay. And what this is going to do is basically when we hit submit, when this button gets clicked, we're going to invoke this form, right? That's all. We might want to do some additional stuff, you know, like wait for the form to finish and, you know, trigger the, like close the dialog then. We'll see. It should just work now. So let's create a new category. And what should we call this? We have JavaScript, TypeScript, React, Next.js, Tailwind, Node, and Prisma, I guess. Let's go with Prisma. Create, and the dialog didn't close, but what is this now? What is that? There we go. So if we open, and it was really fast though, because it's all local. If we open our SQLite Explorer, show the categories table, we'll see Prisma here, but there's an issue. I don't want the slug to start with a capital letter. Okay, so let's fix that. Slugify should also do all lowercase. And there's an option for that. So let's do lower equals true, but I do want to update the slug of the flashcard. So let me try to execute something. Let's just show table. Let's try to execute a query. What are these options? Export. Oh, it's not export. I'm not going to insert. Update flashcards. Values should be I need help with this. SQLite update. Whoa. Update set from where? That was the update flashcards. Set slug is going to be Prisma with a lowercase. From. Wait, what? Update inventory from inventory. I guess we can just do where slug equals, or just ID equals 7, was it? And also it's not flashcards. It's category. Okay, so SQLite execute, run query. Let's bring back the... No, nothing happened. This should be a simple update. What is going on? Set this where that. That's it. The ID is... Oh. My bad. Run that. Query the... There we go. Now we're lowercase. Okay. What's up with typos in today? Velinov asks, how long have you has been until since you've moved? Since last year. Yeah, it's been like a year and 4 months, maybe. Yeah. Okay, so category. By the way, let's talk in English because we have a lot of English folks, so we can like all understand each other. Create category is done now. What we want to do is wait for the action, and then close the dialog, and then like optionally show any tooltips like, hey, created success, you know. And if we do this, we can't really control the action. We need to do something else. And for that, we're going to be using, let me just see. The next version is 14.2.3. 14.2.3. That means we can use form action. what was it? Use action. Use form status is on the submit button. Yeah. I grew up in Macedonia. But I moved last year, so yeah. So we only have use form status. Use action something. Damn it, what was the? It's a new API, so it's like it's not in the 1833 one, it's in the 19 version. Use action states. But I guess this is still, or was it use form state? It was use form state. Yeah. Let's try the Next.js documentation. Use action state. No, use form state. Use form state is now use action state. But if we'll, yeah, this should be it. Let me also check in my other project to see how I'm using this. So let's, for example, go into auth, sign in. Form shouldn't have anything. Oh yeah, there's an on submit. Well, we can do this. Yeah. Paul, that is very experimental. But here's how I'm handling this. I'm just doing the on submit. I'm, restructuring the form data, and then I'm just doing a wait, and this is the actual form action. And then if we have any errors, etc., we handle that. Well, let's do that. Let's do that. I think it's gonna be simple enough. So we're gonna do this. Handle submit, beautiful. Instead of the action here, what? Okay, Vim, delete until space. Yeah, see, that's crazy. Space is being considered as a leader key, not as a character key in this case, and that shouldn't be the case. On submit, handle submit, inside here, we're going to do form data equals new form data event current target. That's just going to, inherit, recreate form data using the form, which is just going to do like cut the work for us. Then we're gonna, create category. Do the create category. Beautiful. If an error happens, but it's not gonna happen. At least it's not gonna be like this. Or this is gonna be like result, maybe. Oh, it is a category. Wait. Let me check buffet again. It's a result, yeah. No. Okay, so instead of throwing stuff, I'm actually returning errors object. So I'm either, well, there's a throw here. There's a sign in. It's a server action. Redirect data.url, but that's on just for the redirect. I'm just throwing the error here, but that's the if. Otherwise, I'm just returning errors. Okay, yeah, that is the case. That is the case. So, let's do that. In the actions, instead of throwing, we're early returning an object. Name is required. Okay, and here, and we were not throwing this, of course, we're just returning an error. Now, when we go here, we're going to see either an object or an error, and that's going to be our results. And I'm going to return category with the field. So here's how it's going to look like. They're going to have category, or it's going to have an error. That's it. If res.error exists, we have an error. We can do alerts using OBS Studio. We can alert it, although we could also, check this out, UI shed CN, Sonar. Let's actually use Sonar. mpx UI shed CN UI at latest add Sonar or Zona if this is in German. So we need to add a toaster at the top of the file, and that's going to be our layout, not TSX file. I believe this is not, yeah. There's our body. Inside of the body, we'll just do toaster. We'll bring it from components. We'll cut this, paste it here. And oh, it's not even a wrapper. It's just self-closing. And I'll put it at the bottom in that case. There's a toaster. And then we can import toast from Sonar and just toast, show the toast. So instead of alert, we'll do toasts exactly from Sonar.error, and we'll just print out the error. Else, we can do toast.success, category created. Beautiful. While this is happening, we should be in a client component now because we want to ship some JavaScript. We want this to be executed in the client, this JavaScript. We need to convert this to a client component. And check this out. Since we're in a client component, we can do this. Open, set open equals use state false. We're going to control the dialog's open state programmatically. So if it's success, we'll do set open to false. Otherwise, we'll just do use state true maybe. Open is open. Unopen change. Set open. Probably. Let's see. It is a client component now. This is an old error. Okay, see that? Yeah. So this should be false by default. The trigger automatically opens it. If we keep it as true, it's always going to be open, you know, but we want it by default to false, as we can see here. But when I hit the trigger, that's going to set it to true. Now we'll see create a new category. What should we do? macOS. We talked about macOS. Let's do macOS. So now, if I hit create, it's going to create the category. It's going to close the dialog, and we should also see a toaster. And I'm going to hide my camera just so we can see here. Create. Nothing. Okay, interesting. That's because of this toast.success. And I remember having this issue in Buffet. So let me go back and see what's up. Let's bring in toaster. Where are we using this? Nowhere, you see? I haven't solved this. Interesting. Do I stream somewhere else or just YouTube? I just stream on YouTube. And I'm restarting my streams because I used to stream a lot back in the day. And I still have a job, yeah. And this is streaming, working on a project that I'm going to use on my job. So In a way, streaming is my job, but it's not my only job. I made it my job. And Dr. Guttles that you see in the chat, she's my manager. Okay, toast success. We want to show this. But if we immediately hide the dialog, it's not going to show up. No, hold on a second. I know what it is. It's not that we're hiding the dialog. It is that we are revalidating the path. Okay? So this is an interesting thing. Let's validate. So let's create a new category. We'll call this what? SQLite. Okay? When I hit create, here's what I expect to happen. The dialog should close. We should see a sonar, a toast somewhere, probably bottom right, if I'm not wrong. We should see the sonar, but we should not see the category here because we're not revalidating the layouts. Okay, so let's do create. We see SQLite now. Okay, that's weird. But I think I know what happens. When we're using server actions, I think they're like reloading they're doing like a full page reload. I think if this was an API request, like an ordinary API request, plain fetch, it would have been different, the behavior. I think that's the case. So this is an interesting idea. How to handle, like a toaster feedback type of thing when using actions. That's an interesting thing. And it's not the revalidation. It's that when we look at this, I'm gonna put the network tab here. And I'm gonna create a new category. We'll create a new category called PostgreSQL. I'm gonna look for all of the requests, hit create, and check this out. There used to be a plain post request, but this is a document request. You see? It's a get. And it also appends the name here. Yeah, it's like a server action type of thing. What if we revalidate the layouts? Yeah, I'm still learning the server actions, but yeah, it's weird. MongoDB, hit create. Again, you saw that, right? It's like a full post back. And we also get this in the name as well. So that's something we need to look into. I think it's how server actions behave. With the layout property, with the layout attribute, now we can literally see the page reloading. So we're gonna remove that. We can't do toasts. That's why I also don't have toasts in Buffet, the other project that I'm referring to. But this is something that we need to look into. We do have the functionality, as you can see. We just want to provide feedback to the user that what they tried is successfully or happened successfully, or there's an error. So we'll figure it out. But we are at time. So yeah, let's end here. I think we made, again, really good progress. We finished the flashcards update and delete UIs. We set up the database SQLite locally, and we also started implementing server actions, and we managed to create a category, but we're not done yet because we don't have any in a way to provide feedback whether that was successful or there's an error. So yeah, I think it was a good day, good stream. The next one is going to be on Friday at the same time, and I really want to finish streaming finish this project by Friday. So let's see if we can finish, all of the actions and also the practice session. It's going to be crazy, but maybe we'll succeed. If not, we'll just keep on streaming. And then when this project streams, we'll figure something out next. Okay, thank you all for joining. Make sure to subscribe to get the notifications next time I'm streaming. And I will see you all on Friday. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.